Today we're speaking to our backsliders. There was a time where I was even like, I don't see myself fulfilling this Christian life thing. I'll believe in God, cool and all, but that's where it ends. The reality is that you've been the one sheep a lot of times. Jesus has left the 99 a lot of the time for you. And I know he's not complaining, but at this point, he's just clocking in to fetch you every day. Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Jesus Over Sid. I'm so excited to have you guys back. This is basically the platform where Mel and Sid comes to have some real life conversations about being Christian. It's real, it's messy, it's not cute. It's not as cute as you expect it to be. And I feel that I'm learning a lot, that it's a continuous struggle, it's a daily struggle. People say you need to die to your flesh. Yeah. But tell me about how I need to die to my flesh every second of every day. You're leaving out a lot of the requirements that are anticipated, that are needed, actually, quite frankly, in this lifestyle. So today we're speaking to our backsliders. I laugh because I can relate so much with being a backslider. A lot of us a lot of us find ourselves in a season of like backsliding and then coming back to the Lord, and then we're on fire for the Lord, and then we dip again, and it's just like, when does the cycle stop? When do I just fall in love with the Lord and it's like consistent, you know? I know for me, there was a time where I was even like, I don't see myself fulfilling this Christian life thing. Like on some, I'll believe in God, cool and all, but that's where it ends. Like I'm just tired of coming back to this Lord and then doing everything right and then failing. Then like I had to come back and work my way back to him again, and then I fail again, and then and then I pray for things and I don't get them, and then I beg and I fast and he doesn't hear me. Like, is he here? I remember there was a point where I was chunking, I was crying real life tears, and I was just like, man, I'm asking you to hear me and you're not hearing me. You're this father, you're this God, and you're not hearing me. Like I'm loud, like I'm begging you right now to show me something, reveal yourself to me. I've been begging you for weeks, matter of fact, months, and I haven't heard from you, haven't seen you at all. And I've spoken about this before, but I was expecting the Lord to do all of these things without the right heart posture. It's like there's this need and desire for the Lord, but every time I'm chasing, there's an expectation, number one, of what I'm gonna get back. And number two, I kind of just expected myself to fail. Now, this is right and wrong biblically, just because as human beings, we know that we are flawed, like we are created in a flawed nature. We're man, and so we're prone to sin. Everybody is going to sin. Everybody has sinned before. Everybody still will sin. That's just the way that we are. But I'm not talking about that per se. I'm talking about that energy where you go in and you're like, I'm not even gonna try. Like, I'm gonna try to be holy, but like I know I'm gonna mess up anyways. And so when it gets to the point of where you get tempted, you don't even fight the temptation because you already set your mind up for that failure. Does that make sense? I think backsliding is a lot more of a man, it's such a consistent story in a lot of young people's lives. We don't talk about it enough at church, at home. Like, the reality is that you've been the one sheep a lot of times. Jesus has left the 99 a lot of the time for you. And I know he's not complaining, but at this point, he's just clocking in to fetch you every day. Girl, I'm laughing because it was me too, okay? Don't be afraid that we laugh. But this is real tea, guys. Like, the Lord is literally spending most of his time on the clock fetching you because you have this mindset that you're just never going to get it right. And I don't think that the Lord expects us to get it right. He doesn't, well, he does. I don't think he expects us to do it perfectly. We can get it right without being perfect because perfection is Jesus. That was the only person who ever existed on this earth and was perfection. We aren't perfect. The Bible states it multiple times. Ecclesiastes 6, what a difficult word to say, what a tongue twister. Ecclesiastes 6, there's a verse where Solomon speaks about the fact that we're all born in sin. Like everybody's going to sin. Paul speaks about, I do what I don't want to do, and what I want to do, I don't do. Um, he says it in many different ways as well in his writing. I think even Solomon speaks about it in Proverbs, in Ecclesiastes, in a lot of his writing about the fact that all of this in this life where you're trying to be uh, perfect and clean and it's great to try, but the Lord also calls us to just live. That's not to say be reckless, be careless, like eat food, drink. Oh, let me not. But like enjoy the things that we have available to us on this earth. Like if you're consistently living with a record on your back of when am I going to fail, you're never gonna get it right. There's a point where you need to let go and surrender. You need to surrender all of these religious thoughts that you have of what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to look like as a Christian, and surrender it to Jesus. You need to give it up so that he can help you and he can save you. Like there's this hard posture of, because you want things like that your flesh desires, it blatantly declares you non-Christian. What I mean by that is, if you want sex, you want to name yourself as a non-Christian. Like, so you've lived a life whereby you're consistently with the Lord, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a place, whereby you're now partying, you're getting drunk, you're starting to get back into smoking weed, you're sleeping with people, anyone, you don't even think about it too much. And now you're like, yeah, there's no ways I can go back. Did the Bible ever say to you that you can't go back to the Lord? It does say that a dog is the one who regurgitates and then eats it back up. Which is a lot of what we do when we are backsliders, right? When we are people consistently backslide in terms of our faith, we're basically being that dog that Proverbs speaks about. But there is a lie that the enemy spews in your head when you fall back into this lifestyle that says you can't go back. Surely he's not going to accept you back. He's not going to love you again after everything that you've done and everything you've exposed to yourself. The fact that you're still claiming to be Christian, you're still claiming to know the Lord, you're still claiming to love the Lord, but you're moving around like this, you can't go back. That's the enemy's voice. Guilt, all of these things, these voices that keep you far from God, is from the devil himself. He's here to lie, steal, and destroy. And so he'll destroy anything that the Lord has called upon your life. He'll attempt to destroy anything that is called upon your life, any anointing. He doesn't want you to get close to the anointings that are already gifted to you. He'll find every way to distract you and keep you down and keep you in a dark place so that you don't get to where you're supposed to be. Because if you get there, I know for a fact he can already see how many souls you'd save. With your story, with your mind, with your childhood background story, your testimony, he knows that there is so much that you could possibly unlock with your story and the exact specific way that the Lord has made you, with the struggles that you have endured. He knows. And so obviously he's going to attack you. He's going to keep you out there. Oh, that's not even what I wanted to say. I went on a different spiral now. Anyways, now I had to just move on to the next topic. I just spiraled somewhere else, but I feel like that was definitely for someone. We were in Bible study yesterday, and we were talking about this backsliding notion. And I think there's a backsliding notion that some of us have. There's a place where we get to where we're discouraged by how many times that we feel that the Lord has failed us. And then there's a place that we get to where we're like, man, my flesh needs this food. Like I can't and it's not food that I'm speaking about. I'm just using food as a placeholder for whatever your weakness could be. Like my flesh needs this food. Like I need this thing. I need this thing, and I'm tired of fighting the need. So we were a group of girls that are sitting with these different types of desires that biblically we need to stay away from. Biblically, we need to train our flesh to move in the opposite direction of, and we're face to face with the tension of being human beings in a world that feeds and suggests to us to eat of every pleasure of our desire, of our need. Like everything is here. If we want it, we can have it, and we want all of it, right? It's how the flesh tends to operate and how it operates against us, kind of. So there's that tension of us being those human beings, yes, and then there's the other part of this tension where we are genuinely people who are just after God's own heart. Like we know what life is like without the Lord. We know what that gap feels like, and so we desire this relationship with this being that fulfills us and that sacrificed his life for us. So there's these two compartments that are built in within us, and we're struggling and we're combating them to the extent whereby some of the girlies were even talking about, you know what, like I kind of got tired of this thing, like I'm just not getting it. And some of us are in the relationship with the Lord and still living in line with what the Lord has called us to live up to in terms of standards, but we're still struggling with the fact that our flesh has these desires. I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. There's nothing like community and relationship that can help you and your faith journey. It takes one person in the community to speak life into you, to speak life into your faith journey, and to keep you on the right track. Believing in God is not a one-way street. On paper, yes, it is the straight and narrow, but in life and what it comes out and looks like in the physical, it's hard. There's so many different ways you need to find to chase the Lord. You need to be in your word. You need to pray, yes. You need to worship, yes. You need to humble your flesh. You need to humble this hardened heart. There's this pride. There's the pride of the heart. There's the pride of the eyes. There's so many things fighting you. And that's why I say it's not just one way. There are so many different avenues that you need to be praying into and asking the Lord to help you in terms of how to pursue Him. And this is what it looks like to build relationship with God. You have the questions, you have the desire, and you have to phrase it to Him. Not to Jackie Hill Perry, not to Jesus over Sid, not to In Totality, not to Philip Anthony. You need to send it to God. You need to ask the Master directly, the Creator, the person who created you as a human being directly. How do I get this thing right with you? Because I promise you, if you sit down and have the conversation and you're quiet long enough to hear Him, He'll answer you. You know, He's a God of love. The word speaks about seek me and you find me. And I believe He's true when He says that. You ask the Lord for anything that you need, and He gives you what you need. The Bible says, give me the prayer, the daily prayer we're supposed to pray. Give us this day our daily bread. Every day your needs are met. And so a prayer as simple as, how can I serve you and live a life dedicated to you? How do I do this Jesus thing? The Lord will reveal it to you. There's so many rules, there's so many steps, there's soap method, there's wada. Guys, it's a lot of stuff. Ask the question to the Lord. Have you had that conversation, that sit down? Or are you betting on what your pastor says next week? Or are you betting on what the worship is like next week? Takes simple things, guys. Sometimes we overcomplicate it, and Jesus is just waiting for you to actually turn to Him and ask Him the question, you know? So yeah, I really hope this motivates you if you're someone who's been struggling with backsliding a lot. Like I feel like this episode is definitely just a chat with people who find themselves on fire one moment and then down in the gutter the next moment in their Christian journey. Like real chat, it's not supposed to be easy. It's really messy. I'm gonna be honest with you. But that's not to discourage you. It's so that you have a reality to expect in your walk. Sometimes Christians come up here and they're like so poised and they're perfect. Everything looks so put together. I promise you, I'm telling you now, as a Christian myself, none of it is put together. What you're seeing here isn't the least bit put together. I'm still struggling with desires of my flesh every day. I'm cutting it down. I'm dying every day. It's a struggle. Sometimes I'm not even dying to it fully. I'm only dying to it half, quarterly, like a messenger. But at the end of the day, I don't ever see myself stepping out of my faith ever again, because I asked God how, and He gave me all of the answers. I can't give you my answers now because that was the word for me that He gave me, and that's between Him and I. But I'm telling you to go out. Not go out there. Go into your room, close the door, close the windows, and ask the Lord. Spend enough time in His presence to hear what He says to you about what that answer needs to be. Until next time, darlings, that has been Jesus Oversaid.